This world is insane. The things that you learn when you pick up a book and start reading. When I was young, I was always told oral stories about our ancient past by my grandmother. And she began to tell me how these people stole our birthright and lumped us in with some of the Africans that came over here on slave boats. Because that part of the story is true, but the other part of the story is hidden, that there were black people already here. And this was accounted by many historians who came over here to map out the land, from Charles Darwin, Constantine Ralph-Aninsky, Balboa, Richard Poe, Sir Godfrey Higgins, Ivan Van Sertimer, David Imhotep, and there are many other books, Red Silver Fox. All these people have accounts because they were historians or they were the black Indians of the land. And there's another historian, Madame Verdice from Louisiana, and there's another chief who, if I'm correct, is Choctaw, also from Louisiana, Chief Warhorse. She's been to all kind of councils to talk about the black Native Americans who are a forgotten story of America. But many historians wrote that when they got here, the people looked like Ethiopians and they had copper colored skin. And you could read the 1828 definition of the America, and it tells you the story that these people stole the land. And the Inuit and Mongolians are not indigenous to America. They came across the Bering Strait after we were already here. Black people from all over the world supposedly come from Africa. But this is why we migrated to America from wherever we were from, and we were the first to be found on this land. After slavery, people don't understand what really happened during and after slavery. They were conditioning us to steal our nationality. This was part of the conditioning of slavery and working on the land because the land belonged to us. Why wouldn't they get the Indians who the land belonged to? Because these people were savage and didn't have education about the land. We were alchemists. We come from lands and people who are just innovators. Till this day, we are the only ones to put out the most inventions in this land. If it wasn't for black Indians and Africans who combined their minds together, who mixed and went through an ethnogenesis in this land to become a different person, we've created so many things. Nobody can compete with us with inventions. Nobody can compete with us in sports. Nobody can compete with us in music. Everything that we do, we go straight to the top. And you can't talk about that because you could look up black inventions and there are long lists. And even back then, we couldn't get these inventions because we were slaves. And there was a guy called McCoy. Everybody wanted his things because it was the best, top grade. So they asked for the real McCoy. These people have lied to us through history. And these people who are the Red Indians, why didn't they get you guys for farming? You guys had no knowledge of these type of things and are still on reservations with houses to this day and get free money and are living in the worst conditions. You guys are Mongols and we know it. We've read many books that came before any history book, the indoctrination. You guys are land grabbing thieves and colonizers just like the European. You don't belong here and don't belong anywhere on earth because black people were the firstborn and populated everywhere, according to George Washington and other important figures from back then. All of the world was swarthy. All of the world was tawny. And when you hear these words like olive, olives are black and green, and there are no green people. These people straight hijack history because we don't know the lingo of those times. So they can get away with saying he's olive, but they change in our minds what a olive really is because there are no pale olives or beige. They're only black or green. And like I said, there are no green people. These people will do anything to cloud the minds of people. They are the historians. And this is why you are not supposed to listen to man philosophy, because words are spelled. And once you learn his words and definitions, you are trapped because the words guide you. If a person call you the N-words, you'll be mad. But if they call you a millionaire, you won't move. But you're neither one of those things. This is the trick. They control our mind. They take us to school and teach us their way of life and their culture. Now we're stuck in it and lost our whole identity. These people are some of the most diabolical and wicked people on the planet, the European and the Mongol, who never had love for us, just like the world, because black is power. And it makes everybody else feel inferior because the truth is the truth. You bow and cower to what's better than you. And that's where envy and jealousy kicks in. And this is what we've been going through for our whole existence with these other people, because when they see us, intimidation and inferiority kicks in. This is why they automatically want to fight and scared of the unknown, because we are so mysterious. We spook people and then they react out of their fear and become weak human beings and kill other people, because the story shows our history of nonviolence. When they came here and infringed on our land in Africa, Australia, Mexico, England, they murdered us because they are so inferior. It brings the devil nature out of them, and all they know how to do is kill. They don't understand sharing because they came from the caves, and the caves cultivated their nature and turned them into savages, because there was nothing to offer in a cave but fighting and not sharing over things, because resources and food were scarce. So these people acted out just like the nature that shaped their whole mindset. When you don't have anything, you'll fight still and hoard everything, because in the back of your mind, your nature is to steal and be in a savage nature, because you're not used to having things plentiful. As to the people in Africa, all fruits was ripe. So we had time to sit down, think, and evolve into a human being that has order in his life. This is why we created tribes and created many nations. But they will never tell you this story, because they want you to think that we have no culture, no identity, when the whole world rides on our coattail. We could make music and people can make millions off it. Melanin is gold, and we are the leaders in the melanated people. If this were the Bible, we would have to be Judah, because everybody follows our lead, and we were slaves and supposedly the most ignorant people. But the world copy everything that we do. We can't have anything because you people come in and hoard everything that we create and then monetize it. And we are so God-loving and righteous, we don't fight or want to kill you. We just want to exist in our own capacity without your wickedness.